Hello, Algebra. My name is Mrs. Kelm, and I'm going to take you through Solving Inequality Application Word Problems, Day 9 in our Unit 3 packet. We're going to talk about more word problems and tips. When we have repeated values, we multiply by the variable. So, for example, if they're talking about $5 per item or multiple items with the same cost, remember that's addition, repetitive addition, or multiplication. So that's the repeated values. A one-time like startup fee or something like that, we add or subtract the number from the variable. So that's the number by itself. Our goal is to look at the last sentence because that's usually where they'll talk about the how many or find or what is, all those key phrases that tell us what we're looking for. Now we need to look for these words to help us identify which inequality we're going to be using for solving the application word problems. When we see less than, with the less than sign here, those will be words like is less than, fewer than, shorter than, smaller than. Less than or equal to, this symbol here, will mean at most, maximum, is no more than. Greater than, this symbol here, the words will be is more than, greater than, longer than, larger than. Greater than or equal to symbol here, we'll be looking for at least, minimum, is no less than. So let's try some examples. Using the picture shown, a gas station charges 10 cents less per gallon of gasoline if a customer also gets a $6 car wash. What is the greatest amount in whole gallons of gasoline that you can buy if you also get a car wash and can spend at most $20? Okay, so I highlighted some key words in there, and we're going to go through and use the picture to try to write an inequality because this says we can spend at most $20. So that means I can't spend more than 20, but I could spend less than 20. And we're going to use this picture to find out how much gas costs. It's $2.34. But it also said we're definitely buying a car wash. We're going to get the car wash. So when I write my equation, it's going to be the amount that I spend on gas plus the amount for the car wash has to be less than or equal to $20. So how much am I going to spend on the car wash? Well, it's $6 flat fee for the car wash and then 10 cents cheaper for the gas. So I'm going to subtract the 10 cents from my gas price over here to find out that I'm actually going to spend $2.24 per gallon. So 2.24x because it's per gallon. I don't know how many gallons I'm buying. And then the $6 car wash. Now I can go ahead and solve, just like we've solved equations. So I like to draw the line down the middle. That's optional if you like to. And then I'm going to work to get x by itself. So I'm going to start by subtracting 6 from both sides. And then I'll have 2 and 24/100ths x is less than or equal to 14. Then I have to divide by the 2 and 24/100ths to get x by itself, the amount of money I'm spending per gallon, and then I get x is less than or equal to. And when I do this division, I end up with a decimal, but I'm actually going to leave that decimal 6.25 as my answer here. But it's not my answer to the question. They said, what is the greatest amount of whole gallons that we can buy? That was the question we had to look for. So the greatest amount in whole gallons is 6 because I don't have enough to buy the 7th gallon. 6 falls in my inequality though. It's less than or equal to 6.25. That's the biggest whole number of gallons. Okay, let's try another one. The length of a rectangular garden is 2 feet more than 3 times its width. So that's the length. The area of the garden is at most 250 square feet. And then the question is always important, which inequality can be used to solve this situation? So I'm looking for, out of these options here, which one would be the right one to use. I'm going to start by drawing a picture of my rectangular garden. You could also write let statements if you wanted, but I prefer to draw a picture when they talk about a rectangular garden. So the length is 2 feet more than 3 times its width. I know nothing about the width, so that I'm just going to use a variable x, or you could write let x equal the width. And then the length is 2 feet more than, that means add 2 to what? 3 times the width. So 3x, 3 times the width, and I'm adding 2 to that. Okay, so now they talked about how the area equals length times width. Now if I look at all of my options, they all have the length multiplied by the width. So the question is the inequality part. So what in our inequality is representing the area? Well, it's this side, the x times the 3x plus 2. So that area has to be at most 250 square feet. So that means that it can be less than that or equal to it, but it can't be any more than that. So that is represented by choice 2 here, because choice 2 shows that the 250 is greater than or equal to the x times 3x plus 2. This is the area. It's less than or equal to the 250. Okay, let's try another one. The length of a rectangular garden is 2 feet more than 3 times its width. If the perimeter of the garden is at most 250 feet, which inequality can be used to solve this situation? I'm going to again draw a picture. And from the word problem, it said the length is 2 feet more than 3 times its width. I know nothing about the width, so that would be my let x, or I'm going to draw an x on my width. Then the length is 2 feet more than, so that means I'm going to add 2, 3 times the width, so this is again the 3x plus 2. Now they're talking about perimeters, so that means I'm going to add up all 4 sides. But again, if I look over at my options, they all show all 4 sides being added. So that doesn't help me eliminate any options. So then I have to look at, it's at most 250 feet. So again, this is the side that's representing the perimeter. This is adding up all the sides. The perimeter is at most 250. So that means that it can be less than or equal to the 250. So that would be choice 4 here. And that's again because the perimeter part, and that's the hardest part about these questions, is deciding which one is representing the perimeter. Adding up all the sides, this is the perimeter. So the perimeter part needed to be less than or equal to the 250. Okay, on to the next question. This one says that we have Joel is saving money for a summer camp that cost $1,800. He has already saved $600. He has 15 more weeks to save the remaining balance. How much money does Joel have to at least save per week to attend summer camp? Okay, so we know that he has to, the summer camp costs $1,800. And the amount of money that he needs to have needs to be more than or equal to the 1,800. So I'm going to write on the left-hand side, I'm going to write what he's saving. He already saved $600, so that he already has, plus the 600. How much is he saving? Well, we don't know how much because that was the question. How much money does he have to at least save per week? But I know he has 15 weeks to do it. So 15 weeks times X amount, however much we need to figure out that he needs to save, plus the 600 he already has, needs to be greater than or equal to $1,800. Now we need to solve for X. You can draw the line if you'd like to split down the middle. I'm going to subtract the 600. This time I'm not going to draw the line, but remember that you can do that if that helps you to answer the question. And then I have 15x is greater than or equal to 1,800 minus 600 is 1,200. And then to get x by itself, divide by 15. And then I end up with x is greater than or equal to 80. So how much money does he need to save at least per week to attend the summer camp? He has to have at least $80 every week, per week. Could be more than that, but it has to be at least $80 per week. Okay, on to the next question. So hopefully you have that label on there also. The next question says, a gym is offering a trial membership for 3 months by discounting the regular monthly rate by $50. Jason is considering joining the gym if the total cost is less than $100. Which inequality can he use to find the possible regular monthly rates that Jason is willing to pay? So the gym is offering for 3 months discounting 3 months, he's discounting it by $50, considering joining if the total cost is less than $100. So which one will help us figure that out? Well, how can he figure out how much it's going to cost him? Well, I don't know how much it normally costs, but I do know that it's for 3 months, it's going to be however much it normally costs minus the $50, $50 cheaper then. Now it has to be, the amount that he's going to spend is less than 100. So this needs to be less than, didn't say equal to, just less than $100. So there is my inequality. This shows how much the membership is going to cost him, and it has to be less than $100. So now I can look at my options and match to what I just wrote here. That's choice number 2. That matches my answer. Okay. Number 6 here says we need to solve for x in terms of y and z. So to do that, I need to go ahead and distribute my 7, because remember that we need to distribute, and that will eliminate our parentheses. So then I have 7x plus 14y minus 9x equals 10y plus 6z. Okay, now I'm looking to solve for x as a reminder. That means I need x by itself. This in terms of y and z just means I'm going to have a y and a z in my answer. So I need x alone. You can draw the line if you'd like to. I'm going to combine on the left-hand side of the equal sign. I have 7 minus 9x. That's a negative 2x. And then plus the 14y. And that equals 10y plus 6z. And now I need to continue working to get x alone, so I have the 14y on this side with it, so I need to subtract that over to the other side of the equation. And then I have the like terms over here, so I'm putting it underneath the 10y because I can combine the 10y minus 14y. So I have negative 2x equals negative 4y plus 6z. Now I need to get x by itself, so you can either divide each term by negative 2 like I'm going to do. You could also show this as pretzel method and put it as one fraction on the right side here, but I'm just going to divide each term. Remember, terms are separated with addition and subtraction. And then I'm going to put the dividing by negative 2 underneath. So then I end up with x equals negative 4 divided by negative 2 is a 2y. And 6 divided by negative 2, that's a negative 3, and it's z. So this is my answer. X equals 2y minus. And remember, they told me I was going to have that y and the z in my answer. Okay, one more. Now we have some decimals in this one, but it's not going to be treated any differently. We're still going to do the same process, and we have an inequality here, and that's just going to come down. And remember, we just have the rule for flipping inequalities if we divide by a negative. So we try to avoid dividing by a negative. So I'm going to start by bringing my smaller y value over, and my smaller y value here would be negative 2y, and that's because it's smaller than the negative 0.4. So I'm going to add the 2y over to the other side of my inequality. And then I have 1 and 8/10 on the left here, plus, when I do negative 0.4 plus 2, I get 1 and 6/10 y, and then greater than 2 and 2/10. Now I'm going to move my constant, the number without a variable, to the other side. So then I have 2 and 2/10 minus 1 and 8/10. So I have 1.6y on my left is greater than 4/10 on my right. And then I'm going to divide by 1 and 6/10. And I end up with an answer. Y is greater than 25/100. You could put that as a fraction if you would like to by hitting math and then frac, or you can leave it as y is greater than 25/100. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.